All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's Tactical Thursday at January 16th, 2020. And I appreciate you guys being here. For those of you over on YouTube, please take a moment and absolutely murder that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps a great deal getting this video in front of those who would like to or need to see it. And it makes me want to create more videos in the future. So I would greatly appreciate it if you smash that like button. And while you're doing it, go ahead and hit subscribe, and you will get notified when I create new content. So this evening, we are going to not only be doing a Q&A as usual, but we're also going to be talking about tactical arbitrage advanced search versus basic search, and what the difference is, and why I really think that you should take the time to learn the advanced search over the basic search, just because it allows you to get a little bit more granular. Now, while I say that, I don't necessarily want you to use too many filters. However, I'd like you to be able to have more control over what you are filtering. So, and then we'll kind of look at the difference between the view data in advanced and basic and what the differences are there. And then, of course, we've got giveaways. We've got three 30-day free trials to OH header flips. We've got 2 of these sweet tactical arbitrage t-shirts, 2 copies of the extension IP alert, and then we'll be giving away 1 Tactical Arbitrage Academy as well. And then, of course, and polybags, I forgot. So we got polybags as well. We got all kinds of things to give away. And those are from ilovesupplies.com. So make sure you visit the folks who are willing to give that kind of stuff away every single week, because they're pretty awesome. So Jeanette, Jeanette and Dan, welcome over on YouTube, and let's get rolling here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, hopefully you all should be able to see that. And let's get things moved around a little bit so I don't miss anything here. All right, let's see here. We got a couple of questions I want to go over, and then we'll really dig into it. Hassan, we're just getting started. Don't fret. Let's see here. Guy says, have you had any experience with payability or any thoughts? So when payability was brand new on the market, they gave me an account, and I did a show with them. Excuse me. Now I will have to admit, they gave me an account to use. I have daily payouts. So the only way that it really made sense for me was to not pay any fees. So I did get an account without any of the fees to test out the experience. And I probably used it for a couple of months. It worked fine. They do exactly what they say they're going to do. They give you 80% of your payout, and they hold back the other for chargebacks and returns and things like that. And then there is a fee. I can't remember what it is every month. Now, some guys who are much smarter than me have broken everything down, and it's name's Mike Garner. He doesn't do Amazon anymore, but a few years ago he was really into it and ran a Facebook group. And for some people, it's worth it, especially if you can't get any credit, if you don't have any other way to get your money any faster. Payability can be worth it. You just have to realize that there is a fee, and if you take it out annually, or if you extrapolate that fee annually, it can be pretty high. Now, if you use the debit card that they offer, they take 2% off of that, so it makes it a little bit better. So you really want to do some math, figure out if it would be right for you. and that's really all I could say about Payability. I don't have anything bad to say about them. Some people absolutely rail on the fact of how big their fee is, but you'd probably be paying just as much with a credit card if you were not paying your balance off in full. So that's kind of what I think about Payability. Payability is a company that gives you access to your funds a little bit faster. Like I have daily payouts, so I can request a payout every single day. Every single morning at 8 a.m. I go in, I click pay me, and within 2 days it's there. Not everybody has that. Let's see here. Driss, Rev ROI stopped working. Yes, it did. It caught a bug. I don't know exactly what it is yet. My developer is working on it. I had to let go of a developer and go find a new developer. So it has been taking a little longer than I would like. And it's getting a little bit frustrating for even me. But I'm hoping to have it fixed either tomorrow or over the weekend. Hopefully the guy that I chose is as good as he says he is, and he can get it fixed for me and it'll be back up and running. So gonna have to just hold on. I'll send out an email when it starts working again. When I request a daily payout, do they still hold some in reserve? Not for my account. There are newer folks who also have daily payouts that have the ability to get daily payouts, but sometimes they'll have some held back. So it just depends. But my account's really old, and so I get daily payouts just whenever, and they don't hold anything back to me or back for me. Do you want to share your strategy for 2020? I remember a couple weeks ago you mentioned you're going to share it soon. That's going to come soon. It's going to be its own show. Let's see here. Paul, what's the best strategy to figure out the sales cycle of any store based on your experience? So that's a great question. How do you figure out the sales cycles? Like I know Walgreens, okay? I know what's on sale this week, and I know that over the next week or two, I can keep an eye out and they should have vitamins on sale again. Because right now it's health or it's beauty products. There's a bunch of different beauty sales. And then within the next month or month and a half, there should be like dental stuff that's on sale. So honestly, the best way to do it is go and get yourself an absolutely free account at salesgazer.com. We just made some upgrades to this. Not me. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to developing. So things should be a lot faster inside of SalesGazer. But the best thing to do is just follow the sales. Okay. Whenever you get something from Walgreens, so let's type in Walgreens here. So whenever you get something from Walgreens, just take a look at it. Keep note of it. You can even, make a Google Doc and say, on this date, this is what was on sale. And on this date, here was what was on sale, etc. And if you do that over a month or a month and a half, then you'll kind of get the feel for what's going on. If it's an absolute bust, then remove that site, okay, and pick another site, okay. So that's really all you can do. It just takes some elbow grease and a little bit of time, but it's usually worth it in the end as you do it. Hey, Rachel, over on YouTube. Jeanette, thank you. We will have Rev ROI back soon, I promise. Kyle, what's going on, man? Let's see here. Were you able to get somebody that knows pretty well the process of MS to FBA, MF to FBA book flips to interview? I have not yet. I need to ask again and see if I can get anybody to come on. Do you think bundles and multi-packs sales rank tend to be on the high numbers compared to their single version, and therefore sales will be fewer? It depends. Not all bundles and multi-packs are going to have a slower sales velocity than the single pack. Now, a lot of the times that's going to be the case just because, what did I buy the other day? I bought some water flavor drops for my water, and I wanted to try a new one out, so I bought a single, and I noticed that one does sell faster than the multi-pack bundle. But I know that next time I'm going to buy the multi-pack because it was a variety pack really, because it has several different kinds that I'd like to have. So it's going to depend on the product. So I would check with the history graph, check with the Keepa, and pay attention to those to really figure out whether or not it sells better. And here's the other thing to think about. If a product looks like it's selling slower, the velocity is not as fast. Let's say that you get a grocery item, okay, and it's ranked like 500, and you're sharing that listing with 10 other sellers, all that are competitive for the buy box. Okay, so you're going to get 1/10, well, actually 1/11 of the sales. And if it's selling 500 a month, then you're going to get somewhere around what, 35 or 40 is what you could expect, as long as nobody comes in and like tanks the price or anything like that. Now, let's say that you go to a similar product and it's ranked, I don't know, 2,500, okay, and the velocity is slower, and maybe it's selling, I don't know, 100 a month. Okay. However, there's only 2 other FBA sellers who are competitive for the buy box. You come in and be the third. You could actually probably sell the exact same amount or maybe even more with the slower paced item. So it's not only velocity that you need to pay attention to. It's also the number of sellers. And then you can also look at the number of historical sellers. Like what you're going to notice on some products is, let's say a product gets put onto a BOLO list or an OA list or something. You'll notice that the number of sellers spikes and then it comes back down, and then you'll notice that it stays pretty flat. Like people don't go back and check their lists 3 or 4 months down the road like you should, and so it'll just stay flat. And then if it gets put onto another list, you'll see that number of sellers spike again and then come back down. And if it's something that's really hard to find, if it's a bundle that you have to go and do manual OA on, you may never see that. The number of sellers may be fairly flat or just go up 1 or 2 or down 1 or 2. And a lot of times you can grab more sales even though it does not sell as quickly. So hopefully that rambling made sense. There's a lot more than just sales rank to look at. Jacob, I began doing FBA January 2019 and made 7,000 profit last year, primarily due to your videos. That really means a lot. Thank you. Why do you continue to teach when there is so much info available? Honestly, I like it, and people continue showing up. So that makes me think that I must be doing something right. Because people are showing up. Like right now, it looks like we've got 64 people live. If 64 people are willing to take an hour or an hour and a half out of their Thursday evening when they could be doing something else, then I imagine that they're getting something out of it, and that fulfills me in a way that going out and doing retail arbitrage or sitting down and doing OA doesn't fulfill me. So that's why I do it. And I will be honest, people see my videos and they might use tactical arbitrage. I might get a commission. So there is that selfish portion as well. And I think that I know tactical arbitrage as well, if not better than 99% of people, and I can pass that information along. So let's see here. Henry, thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. Mike, thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Before we dig into some meat, let's drop the link so that everybody can put your name in for the giveaways this evening, and we will pull out the wheel of names a little bit later on. Drop this link over on YouTube as well. You can go to that Google form, drop in your first name and the first initial of your last name, and then at the end here we will draw names for all the giveaways. All right, one more question and we will start digging. Oh, did I create Tactical Arbitrage? No, I did not create Tactical Arbitrage. Tactical Arbitrage is the brainchild and love child of Alex Moss. Excuse me, about a year after it was formed, I was fortunate enough to spend a couple of days in Vegas with Nate McAllister and Paul Witter, Travis Ross, and Alex Moss, and I got to know those guys. Alex Moss created it, got to know him. I started using the software and then just started making videos about it because that's what you do. One of the best ways to learn, in my opinion, is use just-in-time learning. So when you want to go learn something, like let's say I want to go and I want to learn product search and I want to use it this week, but I've never used it before. So I'm going to go do some just-in-time learning. I'm going to learn everything I can about product search, and I'm going to put it into practice as quickly as possible. Now, that's one of the best ways to learn, by learning and then implementing immediately. But even more than that is teaching. So once you start teaching it, then it really starts to sink in, and then it becomes like riding a bike. Can your VA use Tactical Arbitrage? And if so, will they have total and full use of my Amazon account? So your VA can absolutely use Tactical Arbitrage. You give them your username and password, and they can hop in there. In your settings page, which I cannot open up because I didn't expect this question ahead of time, in your settings page, you can actually set a separate password to keep them out of there so they won't see your MWS keys. But by giving them your username and password to Tactical Arbitrage, it does in no way give them access to your full Amazon account. You'd actually have to give them the username and password to your Amazon account, or make them, the safer way is to make them an authorized user. And that's it. What would happen if someone got access to your keys? They would know your storefront. Or they could use your keys for another program, but chances are there's not really a lot that can be done. So someone, for example, if they got your keys and your MWS and your MWS keys, or your storefront ID and your MWS keys, they could potentially go open up their own Tactical Arbitrage account and use your keys to run their account. But there's really nothing else they can do with it. It's not really that huge of a deal, but some people wanted that hidden, so Alex made that happen. How do you handle health and beauty expiration dates? I'm talking about those products that Amazon wants an expiration date, but none is available. Even if you call the company, they at best give me vague timeframes for shelf life. So do we make an estimate? So there's a couple of ways to handle those. One of the things that might happen is on a product, you may see like a little jar with an open lid, and then it might say like 12M or 24M. And what that means is that the product is shelf stable until it's opened. And once it's opened, then it's got 12 months or 18 months or 24 months or whatever it says on there. So what I personally do with those when they want an expiration date is I typically just put it out 12 months from the date that I'm shipping it in. Okay. Now, if it only has a lot code on it, then you can go to like checkfresh.com and there's one called like checkcosmetic.net. And several other places where you can check the lot codes and try to figure out what the expiration date is. And you really have to try to give a good estimate. And then what I do is if I really am unsure and I just cannot know 100%, then I typically will pass over a product like that. With like vitamins and things, you're usually going to have hard dates. But with cosmetics, there's some hair gel, some like pomades that I've sold, some eyeshadows and stuff like that have been kind of, I don't know. I've passed on those when I can't really figure it out. Or you could sell them on eBay. You don't discount eBay for that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Have you come across ASINs with applications for transparency enabled products? It's easy enough to get ungated with the barcode. So here's the thing about transparency program, in my opinion. One, it sucks. But yes, there's like this curler product that I used to be able to get before it became transparency enabled. And then once it became transparency enabled, because I don't have access to those stickers, I just pass on the product. Even if it has one like at the store, I pass on it just because I don't want there to be an issue. So it seems like, they rolled that out and they made a big deal out of it, but it doesn't seem to have gotten picked up by that many people. So I don't run across it very often. But yeah, if I do, I just pass on it. So like one of the things, especially sometimes with newer sellers, is they'll be like, well, I can't sell anything. Well, or whatever I find is gated, or whatever I find has a transparency label, or whatever. There's like 300 million products in the U.S., so there's got to be something you can sell. Even in the top 1%, that's still a huge number. And so I pass on a lot of things that I just think might cause a headache, if you will. All right. So let's dig in a little bit. Last week, we talked about the advanced product search, and that's what this is. It allows you to get granular in here. Oh, and guys, don't stop with questions. If you have questions, feel free to drop them, and I'll make sure to get to them. Daniel, just started out on Amazon FBA. Most of the areas and products that I'm looking at are gated. Can you name 3 areas where most of the products that are ungated? So, okay, here's the thing: as a newer seller, you've got to prove yourself. All right. And it sucks. Like it was easier back in the day, but there were not as many sellers and there were not as many ways to skirt the rules, and there weren't as many people trying to get around the rules. So Amazon's had to make it a little bit of a tougher marketplace. And that sucks for you. I'll completely admit it. Okay. Back when I started, it was, I had to send in, a receipt from Walmart to get ungated in grocery, and highlight a couple things, and that was it. Okay. But now it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So one of the things that you can do is you can source books. There's nothing wrong with selling used books on Amazon, and most of those are going to be ungated. You may come across some college textbooks that are gated and things like that, but if you are willing to put in the hard work to go out and scan at all the Goodwills and make deals with people, and even put up ads on places like Craigslist saying, hey, I'll take your bulk books off your hands, or I'll come, pick up books that you don't want anymore. And there are ways to buy in bulk from local places. There's lots of ways to get your hands on tons of books. And that's how I started out. At one point, we had like 4,000 books in stock, or actually, I think our high was 3,800 books in stock, which we were buying in bulk by the Gaylord, which was 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, I think, a box. Toys. Toys are going to be okay. You're going to find a lot of gated brands in toys. Home and kitchen, you're probably going to find several gated brands, but it should be more open. Grocery, you may be gated in. That's become a little bit more strict. Trying to think what else. Yeah. So here's the thing about a new seller. If you're gated in a bunch of things, the biggest thing you can do is just push past it and scan as many products as you can. If you choose books, it'll be a lot easier. And then as you get some sales experience, things will start ungating for you. But the other thing you can do is like go out and scan 1,000 products, and there's going to be something you can find. It's a lot of work, but it ends up being worth it in the long run. Wilson's got into fistfights with people going through the Goodwill bins. So the first time I ever went to the Goodwill bin, specifically looking for just books, I did not know I did not know the etiquette of the bins. So I got yelled at by several people, and then made my way out of the bins and never went back. Are people returning the books after they are finished reading it? So I don't sell a lot of books anymore, but over the past 3 months, I've probably sold 5 books, and none of them have been returned. And 2 of them were like $100 books. They were expensive. So, but here's the thing that I think about with books. I try to buy a book for $1 or $2. Sometimes Goodwill, they'll have like $2, for a hardback book. And typically I want to sell a book for between like 20 and like up. Okay. In used condition. So I don't see them being returned. I never did. Returns just weren't that heavy. Yeah, typically if someone buys a book for $20 and they finish it and they don't put it on their bookshelf, they're going to give it to Goodwill instead of return it to Amazon. So I wouldn't worry about that. And then the other thing is let's say that you send in 500 books, okay, and your total out of pocket is $1,000 for those. But for 1,000 books, you may be able to, that may be 15 or 20,000 in sales. If you get 1% of those returned, because you have such a low cost of goods, it's not really a big deal. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, 2 more questions, and then we'll get rolling in here. Do you have insurance for selling on Amazon? Yes. Insurance is so according to Amazon terms of service, insurance is required once you hit a certain point on Amazon. Okay. Now, in my opinion, you should just have it. Okay. I didn't for a very long time. I'll be honest. When I first got started, A, I didn't know better. And B, I didn't have the money back then. So I went without it. But if you're going to run a legit business, yeah, you should have the business insurance. It's not that expensive, maybe $300 to $500 a year in most cases. You reach out to places like State Farm and Hartford, and there's a lady by the name of Ashlyn Haddon or Hayden, I'm not 100% sure how her last name is, who runs or who sells insurance for e-com sellers, and it's typically not that expensive. So yes, but I do have insurance. If someone buys a face cream that I sell and they get a rash or whatever, I know that they're probably going to sue Amazon, the manufacturer, and then just for good measure, the attorney is going to rope me in as well. Even though I may not have any liability, I don't want to pay for an attorney to defend me in that case. I'd rather let my insurance pay for it. So that's what I got there. And once you get the other question up, I'll answer that too. All right. So we talked about advanced product search last week. This week, we're going to chat about the basic and what the difference is. Okay. So in advanced, we get to see, we get to kind of pull a lot of levers. You can see there's tons and tons of different filters to use. And we talked about those last week. Okay. So if you missed that, and you aren't sure about it, then make sure to check out the Tactical Thursday from last week. It is up on my YouTube channel. If you're using a basic search, which was built specifically for newer sellers to kind of get the lay of the land in tactical arbitrage land, if you will, and it's a lot simpler interface. Okay, so you've got the alphabet of the domains up here. So if I wanted to find a Walgreens or a Walmart, I could press the W. I can see Walgreens, Walmart, and the other W's that are in here, or I can view all of them. I can also search. So if I wanted to see Target, I can head over to Target and see this here. Okay. And that is how you pick a place. Okay. So tonight we're actually going to pick Target. Now over here in the filters, you don't get to put in a category of your own like we can in the advanced search. In the advanced search, we could put in a single category, or we could create our own bulk list of category IDs for Target and throw them in here. With basic, we only get to choose easy bulk, which is fine. This runs the whole store in 99% of cases. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do just a quick toys search on Target. Okay, we're going to do all 148 of these. All right. Let's see here. And we're going to go ahead and add that. So toys is selected. We've got 148 out of 500 subcategories selected. Okay. And then what you get to put in here is you get to put in any store discounts. So right now, I don't think there are any toys discounts at Target. I think that I think that cash back is like, well, toys is going to be 0 in most places. With gift cards, I believe you can get 7% off right now. So we're going to run this with 7% off on the gift cards. I've got 7% sales tax here in Florida, but let's say I'm sending it to Charles Leslie's Prep Center, another person who sponsors the show out in Oregon. I've got no sales tax. I do have a $1 fee to prep my items, and then I've got about 50 cents per pound. I put the dot in there. There we go. I've got 50 cents per pound to ship to Amazon. Okay, and that's all you put in here. All right. Now I'm going to name this search. I'm going to call it Target Toys. That's easy. Now with a basic search, what happens is Tactical Arbitrage goes in and it looks for profitable products. So anything that has a 1% ROI or better, that is sold at least one over the past month, and that's what it shows you. Okay, that's all it's going to show you. You don't have any other filters to choose from. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and click search on that and let it run for a minute, and then once that runs, I'm going to show you the difference between advanced and basic view data. So the basic search makes it super simple to get searches running really quickly. Okay. And it takes a lot of the, well, do I want this filter? Do I want that filter here? Etc. Okay. Filters shouldn't be too difficult for you. If you've watched past Tactical Thursdays, we keep it fairly wide open. We put all of our expenses in there. We make sure that we have discounts in there so that we can get every dollar out as much as we can. And that's about it. Okay. Let's see here. Ronald, you've mentioned that TA doesn't check third-party sellers on marketplaces like Walmart, but is there a way to know which items did not make it to the view data because they are sold by third-party seller? So TA will check third-party sellers on places like Walmart and Target. The only place that automatically excludes third-party sellers is Sears, because Sears is horrible. Now, in the advanced search, okay, if you're doing an advanced search, you can go over to the remove, okay, and you can remove third-party sellers from results for places like Walmart and Target. I suggest doing that. Now, I'll be honest, Walmart third-party sellers, they seem to be a nightmare. I've bought stuff from third-party sellers at Walmart maybe 2 or 3 times, and every single time it's been a garbage AliExpress product. Okay. And so I would suggest doing it. But if you do have that on, or if you were doing a Sears search, for example, yes, you can check in the logs and you'll see removed and it will say third-party seller or something like that. I can't remember the exact verbiage there, but it will tell you that it was removed because of that reason. Can you please type the name of the prep center? Yeah, so they don't have their site up yet, but it's Charles Leslie. He's been a longtime friend of mine, and he runs Amazon FBA Rockstars and Side Hustle. I just lost my train of thought. Leslie runs Network Prep, and so the way to reach out to him is actually to email him at networkprep@gmail.com. And if you say, hey, Chris sent me your way, you'll get the first 100 items prepped for free, and he waives the sign-up fee and all of that stuff. Rita, what's going on? So Daniel's other question is it difficult for a non-U.S. citizen to get a license to buy wholesale? You're based in Ireland. No, it should not be. You should be able to get an EIN number. Maybe a little bit more difficult to get a resale certificate, but typically you can overcome that with an EIN, and those are fairly easy to get. You just go to the IRS website. I'd probably do a little bit of Googling on it. You might need, like a mailbox or something here, and things like that. But it shouldn't be that hard. There are a lot of people who are overseas who sell in the U.S. marketplace. There's tons. Can we check the logs? Let's see. Oh, is it mandatory to have inventory lab to work with Network Prep and Charles Leslie? No, absolutely not. You do not have to have inventory lab to work with them. Can we check the logs with the items that have been removed for being third-party sellers of Walmart? You could go through your logs and check them. Absolutely. If we run a cache search, and if there are results that don't make it into the view data because their ROI is negative, how can we tell if the current price is still giving us negative ROI? This is sort of like the opposite of what the auto update view data feature is, I think. The only way to do that would be to run a live search. So, if something, let's say that you run a cache only search right now, all right, and I ran a regular search on Target 11 hours ago, and you don't have that auto update view data on, okay? And 11 hours ago, it wasn't profitable. So it wouldn't show up for you, okay? The only way to do that would be to run a live search. I just don't think it happens enough to warrant running live searches all the time. So you can run live searches. That's fine. I will do that on occasion when there's like a fresh new sale. I'll run a live search just to make sure that I'm getting all the fresh data. But in most cases, running it with cache on isn't going to hurt anything. I never do a cache only search. All right, let's go back to what we were talking about with basic here. So with the basic, we started running that scan. Let's go ahead and look at the data over here. Now, on the view data page with basic, it's going to look a little bit different, okay? We can see that it's showing 129 items out of 129. And Target is not a really great example of this because a lot of their products are UPC based. But if you go into the sort and filter data, one of the things that you're going to notice is that the match quality must be between at least 75 or higher. Oh, so you'll see, actually, let's look up here. You'll notice up here that 107 out of 130 items are showing. So if the match quality is not at least 75 or higher, then it won't show. So one of the things that I always do is if I'm looking at basic data is I'm removing the match quality and I'm taking it down to 0, okay? Now, one of the things you can do is here, you can sort and filter your data. You can save, all right? You can sort by added, you can sort by estimated sales, etc. And then you can also use the filters. So show saved quantities. If you want quantity, just maybe like 2 or 3 packs, you could save those. If you want your match quality, it's automatically going to be 75 or higher. I've got all the Amazon categories, but maybe I wanted to see sports and outdoors only. I can choose that. The buy box you can choose. It automatically removes Amazon, and it just shows you FBA and virtual FBA, but I want to go ahead and see those Amazon ones in there. Okay. You can filter by gross profit between, say you only want to see things that have $1 or more gross profit. You can see the gross ROI is already in there of 1% and higher. And then the sales rank 30-day average greater than X, or sorry, less than X. So let's say I don't want to see anything that has a 500,000 sales rank. Is that 500,000? Yeah. Or I only want to see items where the estimated monthly sales is greater than X. Okay. You can put those in there. You can filter by number of reviews, and then you can filter by rating. Okay. So all I'm going to do in here is I'm going to put gross profit between $1 or gross profit of $1 and higher, gross ROI of 1 and higher. I removed my match quality, and I'm going to hit apply. And we can see that we're down to 140 out of 156 items. Okay. Excuse me, got to wet the whistle a little bit. And then in the basic, the layout is a little bit different. You get an image, you get your price. Okay, so you got your $4.99 price. These are your adjustments. I've got a 7% gift card. Then it's got my prep and my ship in there. Okay, gives me the Amazon buy box. Says FBA, also says suppressed. They're kind of over each other right now a little bit because I've got the size of my page down here a little bit. We'll open that up a little bit larger. It's got the title on both of these, the size, how many stars it has, how many reviews it has. You've got all of your Amazon Seller Central link, camel. This will open up the product page and the Target page. You can search for it on eBay, Google, and then of course I have added back in Keepa, so I have a Keepa link in here. Then of course we can check restrictions. Okay, I'm not logged in to my Amazon Seller Central at the moment, so it's not going to check that for me. Then over here we've got details. We've got our gross profit, our gross ROI. Tells us that the buy box is suppressed, of course, what our return after fees are, estimated monthly sales, the average rank, the brand, number of sellers. Now, the thing about number of sellers here, we see 26, but if we hover over this FBA MF here, we're going to see that there are 9 FBA sellers and 17 merchant fulfilled sellers. So I'm really only going to be worried about the FBA sellers. This one's going to be a little bit different because the buy box is suppressed. So I actually do need to worry about the merchant fulfilled sellers, because if their price is lower, then they're going to be the ones who are closest to the bottom. Yeah, you can filter by the amount of units sold. Absolutely. But let me make this caveat to that. Okay. The estimated monthly sales is an estimation. Okay. Tactical arbitrage is really good at it. However, it's more important that we look at the history chart and we can see that there's some velocity there. Okay. Because the estimation it's not always going to be right. A lot of times it'll be pretty close, but you can never know exactly how many units are actually selling until you actually go and sell some of your own. Okay. The estimated monthly sales is really nice to have. It's something good to look at. And yeah, you could sort by the number of estimated sales every month, but don't treat it as gospel. Okay. Make sure you're using that just as one single data point in all the data points that you use to make a purchasing decision. All right. And then over here, we've got our history chart. So we get to see Amazon has been in stock on this a couple of times, it looks like. here at some lower prices. Then we can see what we got up here, buy box. So with this suppressed buy box, probably going to be a little bit more difficult. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we actually have on the Amazon page. So 26, looks like the lowest price is $6, but yeah, with free shipping for merchant fulfilled. That's crazy. 71% positive. I almost guarantee that they're drop shipping and not doing really well. But then you got SNS Worldwide at 1049, and then we got STL Pro here at 1245, and then your Prime seller at 1253. Now I'll bet you that USA Seller 1 is actually selling some of these products even over and above these other sellers because they're Prime. Okay, but you can't tell that for sure. But you need to pay attention to the history chart, which is over here, and then of course we've got a lovely Tactical Edge seller analysis here, which allows you to go a little bit deeper. Can we run searches where we specifically want a negative ROI? If so, how can we do that? Yeah, so I'm going to guess, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm going to guess that you're looking to like drop ship on eBay from Amazon or something like that, where you want to see the negative ROI. You can, yeah, I'm good at this, man. I've thought about all kinds of ways to use TA. So one of the things that you can do in that instance is what I would do is I would run a product search on eBay, okay, and I would leave all the filters blank. So I'd be using I'd actually be using an advanced product search. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and we'll take a little sidebar. I'm going to run an advanced product search on eBay. Okay, so I'll use eBay as the website. I want to start a new search here. Now, I will also say this: I cannot necessarily condone this because I know eBay wanted to have drop shippers stopped, but I know that it's the marketplace where people drop ship from Amazon, so it's going to happen. But this is how you would do it: you'd run eBay, and then you put in any of your costs or fees that you might want in here. You're not going to have any prep. You might have some shipping cost in there, so I'm just gonna leave that blank. So we're gonna leave that empty. I'm gonna remove out of stock products. Profit and ROI, I'm gonna leave this absolutely blank. Okay, leave that absolutely blank, and then you hit this search button. Now, what that's going to do is going to give you everything. Okay, it's going to give you stuff with negative ROI, going to give you stuff with positive ROI. On the view data page, we go over here to the view data page in advanced. And I'm going to use my on-page filters here, okay? Rather than filtering ahead of time, I'm going to use my on-page filters. And I am going to go over to the ROI. Come on. I'm going to go over to the, a little further over. I'm going to go over to my gross ROI. I'm going to click on it. And what I want in here is I want that left blank. And I'm going to leave this at 1. Okay. I'm going to hit apply. And then I'm going to sort this field. Well, in this particular case, it's not going to show me any negatives because we did a basic search. But when I left that wide open, okay, you're going to have a lot of negative ROIs in here. So I'm going to filter. I'm going to filter this to 1% being my highest ROI, or even 0% being my highest ROI, and then I'm going to sort with the little arrows so that I get the highest negative ROI first, and then it goes down from there. So that's what I would be doing. Okay. All right. Let's see here. For the sales rank filter, for example, 300,000, will TA show everything below 300,000 in results? Yes, that's what it's supposed to do. Let's see, gallery of gold. It gets iffy. There's some eBay sellers drop shipping from Target, Walmart, Amazon, etc. Yeah, with it's hard to do like a Target to eBay. You can't really do Target to eBay with tactical arbitrage. It's just not built for that. Maybe in the future, but not right now. All right. So now the other thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and reset all of these filters here. The other thing I want to do is show you the difference between a basic and advanced view data. We saw the basic. That's how it's laid out. You don't have to shift anything. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit cleaner. With the advanced view, I'm going to make this a little smaller again. You can lay this out any way you want. So you'll notice up here that I can take my history chart and I can move it over here if I want, or I keep it back over here at the very beginning. So I've got it laid out the way that I want to see it. I've got my history chart. I've got my estimated number of sales. We can see the price on the product, the source. I see my discounts and taxes, what my adjusted price is going to be. And then we've got a product image from the source site, which I keep right next to the Amazon image. Okay, so even though these products are different, the images are different. This one here is it out of the box. This one here is in the box. I can see that they're the same. Okay, then I have the titles right next to each other. I can see this is a Target exclusive. I'm sure that's exactly the same here, but I would double check it. We get to see the brand, what category it's in, the ASIN, of course, and you can exclude the brand or the ASIN if you can't sell it. You can also do a reverse search on this ASIN if you want to see if there's any other places for it. You get to see the Amazon. Sorry, my screen keeps. There we go. Shoot. Not sure why this is acting up for me. There we go. Sorry, guys. My scroll bar is just. All right, I'll just hold it down. So we get to see in here that there is the Amazon UPC. Man, I'm not sure why this is acting this way. And it's an Amazon match. Let's try this. The UPC is a match between the source site and Amazon. Okay. We see the buy box holder is FBA. The number of new sellers on this particular product is 59. So it's pretty high. And I'm just not able, my scroll is just not working. So I apologize for that. And then I've got several other things over there. Like I say, my gross ROI, the profit, et cetera, and so on. So the advanced is a little bit more data, and it's laid out in more of a longer fashion. Of course, typically I have this on a nice widescreen monitor, so I get to see all of it in one go. I can't really do that here because we're on video, and well, you guys wouldn't be able to see everything anyway, or be really smushed. That's the scientific term. Let's see here. What does reverse search do? Reverse search goes in and takes that ASIN and then tries to find that product at different source sites. So let's say that this was not a Target exclusive Frozen 2 doll set. And let's say that they sold it at Walmart and Kohl's and let's see where else? I don't know. Walgreens. Let's say those places. Well, tactical arbitrage is going to go and find those at those other sources as well so that you can see more than one place. Let's see here. Continue your thoughts on Tactical Edge. Yes. So let's look at Tactical Edge. See if I can get it to pull up here. There we go. So Tactical Edge allows you to dive a little bit deeper into a particular product. So we'll take this one, for example. This particular product, that Target doll, we're going to get to see a lot of the same things. We're going to see the title from Amazon. We're going to see the ASIN. We got a link to Camel, Camel, Camel. We have a link to Amazon Seller Central. We can check our restrictions again. We can do a reverse search from here. So if we go ahead and click on that, it's going to run a quick reverse search. All right. And we got one match added from Walmart. Okay. So it shows here we've got a match from Walmart. Gross profits negative $12.99 because the price at Walmart's $54.95. Okay. We get to see the rating, 4.9 stars, 11 customer reviews. The UPC shows that it's a match. The source product, we get to see the title, and you can see the image here for the source. We get to see the buy price and what it's been adjusted to, the Amazon buy box price, the average price over 30 days, the average price over 90 days, the sales rank, the average sales rank over 30 and 90 days. And then we get a breakdown of the FBA. So there's 53 FBA sellers. There's 6 merchant fulfilled sellers. And then we get to see how many competition is within 2% of the buy box. Okay. So it shows 0. So it looks like the buy box right now is at $49.99 and there's nobody within 2% of that. Okay. The next person's at $52.97 and they're just waiting for, or sorry, let's see who's got the buy box here. Looks like it might be suppressed. Let's check this out on Amazon, see what it's doing. Yeah, so the buy box is suppressed, so there's not any data for that, okay? Let's see, where were we at? Oh, we get to see the category, what size it is, and then one of the cool things that I really like is we get to see frequently bought together, okay? Now, one of the ways that I would use this is let's say I'm doing a grocery search, and I go look for some of these water drops that I use, okay? And I can see, all right, well, I bought red water drops, but frequently bought together. I can see that purple water drops and blue water drops often get sold at the same time. So what I might do is I might be like, you know what? I'm going to go out and look and see if there's a bundle for this already. And if there's not, then maybe I'm going to bundle those myself. Okay. So we get ideas just from using Tactical Edge. And we can say, okay, well, if these are bought together frequently, well, maybe I ought to just bundle it up myself and sell it. And you could do that just based on these frequently bought together items, okay? Because Amazon's telling you, well, if someone's buying this Frozen 2 doll, a lot of people are also buying the Anna and Kristoff fashion dolls, and then over here it looks like a shirt to go with it, okay? So in this particular case, I wouldn't bundle all these dolls together, but in like grocery or some other category, I might bundle other things together. When doing bundles, where's the best place to get UPC codes? Don't get a GTIN exemption. All right. Now, down here is where a lot of other data comes in. You get to see the sellers, okay, on each of these products, what they're rated, how many ratings they have, whether they're using FBA or merchant fulfilled, and you can go right to their storefronts, okay? So one of the things that I do with this is you can say, okay, well, these people have 8 in stock and this buy box is suppressed, so $49.99 isn't really where I want to sell it, but I can see everyone else is at $52.97 and higher. Okay, this item's selling pretty quickly. So I might say, you know what? I'm going to go in and set my repricer to a minimum price of $53. And I'm willing to wait out this person with 8 in stock, and I'm willing to wait out these other 22 because this rank is pretty solid. All right. This rank is pretty solid here. So it's going to sell pretty quick unless these people are restocking. Okay. So I'm willing to get 53. And I'm going to set my repricer so that my minimum's at $53, and then I'll be next up. I'll be the 4th person. Okay. And you get to see how many they have in stock, what their after fees are based on their prices, what their gross profit is based on the buying price, the gross ROI, etc. Now, what these different colors mean on Tactical Edge, you can see this kind of grayish color here. This is a MFer, all right? And that means a merchant fulfiller, not what you all were thinking. All these blues are FBA sellers. And then we got another MFer down here, and then more FBA sellers, okay? Over here, it's just colored a little bit different so that you can tell that it's gross profit and gross ROI. It doesn't matter whether it's negative or positive. They're all green, just to look a little bit different from this section over here. Now, the other thing that you can do with Tactical Edge that's important, in my opinion, is I can see that, okay, well, I know how many ratings I have as a seller, okay? And this person here, this TDSC Enterprises, they're at 99% positive. They have 717 ratings. So we're really close in number of ratings, all right? They've got more than me, but we're close. And I'd like to get to 700 ratings as a seller. So I'm going to go check out their storefront. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to check out their storefront. I can see over the past 12 months, they've had 152 ratings. Of course, over the past 12 months, they've got 99% positive. And then we can see over the past month or so, it's dropped because, well, Amazon's made it more difficult. But I'm going to go see how many products they have in stock. They have 455 products in stock. Well, that's more than I have. So I want to emulate this store. So I'm going to go back to Tactical Arbitrage. I'm going to click this little blue box right here. And this is going to allow me to run a reverse search on this particular storefront. So we can see that 521 ASINs have been downloaded to reverse search, and it's ready for me to run a reverse search on this, okay? I can click search. It'll go and do a reverse search right now on this particular storefront. But I'm also going to go ahead and just download all these ASINs here, okay? I want to download all those ASINs so I can save them and take a look at them, see, and have them for later, okay? Now, you're not going to be able to see it because I'm only sharing my computer screen, or my Chrome screen, but it's literally just a list of ASINs, all right? So it's uploaded here. I'm going to go ahead and click search, and I'm going to let it go ahead and do a reverse search on that particular storefront. So one of the best ways to get ideas of what to sell is to go into these products where you might want to sell, see who else is selling, and see the storefronts that might be a little bit bigger than yours or might be around the same size, and go do reverse searches on their storefronts, and you're probably going to find a bunch of products that do okay. So that is one thing that you should take away from this. Let's answer a couple of questions. Let's see, I have to admit, equals I'm too lazy to do bundles, but I will get my prep center to do it. You are right. I am kind of lazy about bundles, but that's going to change soon, I believe. Let's see here. How does it know what the seller paid for the product? It doesn't know what the seller paid for the product. What it's basing this on, it's basing on the buy price. So the current buy price is $39.99, which is adjusted down to $38.86. Selling that for $49.99 based on the discounts and the costs that I put in would net me a negative at $49.99, and it would net me 35 cents at $52.97. So this is not a product that I'm am going to go out and buy, of course, because there's not enough margin in there, especially if the price comes down at all. But it just tells you based on the prices that are there. The GTIN exemption process seems complicated to me. So I've never, well, that's not true. I've done one GTIN exemption, for some white label products that I did as a newer seller, and it was fairly easy. I'll go in and refresh my memory on GTIN exemptions and make a video on it separate from Tactical Thursdays. Can Storefront Stalker Pro scan brand pages on Amazon? It's a great question. Let's I don't think so, and that's not because of that's not because it doesn't want to. It's just the fact that Amazon doesn't like. There's no products here on this particular brand page. So you go to Fashion Dolls here, and let's see what we've got here. So there's some products here, but these aren't in the same format as like a product or a regular search. So most likely, Storefront Stalker Pro, yeah, I'm not going to be able to grab those there. There's another way to do that on if you have Wholesale, okay? Let's look at this brand page. So US General, yeah, it's not gonna work from this particular page. But what you can do is you can actually do that in Wholesale. I'm not gonna do that tonight, but I'll show you guys how to do that. Let's see here. Continue thoughts on Tactical Edge. We did that. If you exclude a brand, is it going to be excluded all the time or just in that search? So if you exclude a brand on the view data page, it will be excluded from then on out. Okay. However, you can go into your settings, and we'll get into this when I actually do the settings page. You can go into your settings and you can remove those. So let's say, for example, that I have to exclude this Disney. All right. But then in a couple of months, I get ungated for Disney. Well, I can go back into my settings and I can remove it from my exclusions list. How can we use Tactical Edge to know which variations to buy? I'll get back to that in just 1 second. Let's see here. I just missed the step from looking at Tactical Edge to the reverse search. What did you paste? So in Tactical Edge, all I did was I clicked on the little blue box. So it says, if you hover over it, it says explore all sellers ASINs in reverse search. When I click on that, it's going to go out and grab all the ASINs for me, and it's going to upload them to a reverse search automatically. Okay. And then all I've got to do is let it load. It's running a little slow right now. Just because I've got things open and things, and I'm recording, so that makes things slow. Well, once it's done loading up here, I can just click the search button, and boom, I'm off to the races. And then, of course, I can download that file as well if I want to save it. Let's see here. When selling food items like spices, what is a good ROI to expect? I'll be honest, it's all over the place. So I typically want to keep things around 30% ROI or better. But I've had some where I'm like 200% ROI on spices and things like that. So it just depends. But I think that you can easily keep a 30% ROI or better on food items. You have to look for them. In a lot of cases with food items, you're going to need to look for bundles and multi-packs and variety packs and things like that. It can really pay off if you do the elbow, or if you put in the elbow grease for doing a little bit more manual searching. Is there a service out there which has Amazon top sellers, which we can use Storefront and Tactical Arbitrage? Well, yeah, I mean, if you do a reverse search with scan best sellers, it's right built in there. And we're going to go over reverse search and how to use all of it next week. But if you want to scan the top 100,000 sellers in toys and games, I can do that in the reverse search. Yeah. Can you go over quickly how to get started in wholesale? Do I buy 10 items to try to get ungated and then contact a wholesaler? Okay, well, so getting ungated, you're typically going to need an invoice from a wholesaler. Now that can be a convenience store wholesaler in your local area. It can be all kinds of things, just depending on what you need. There's like AB Delivers and several other places that will do wholesale for like grocery, and you just get there. Okay, just get what you need. Then after that, if you want to actually have like a wholesale contact, I would suggest reaching out to brands and finding out where you can, if they deal with sellers, or maybe they have, like Kraft. You're not going to get a wholesale account with Kraft as an Amazon seller unless you're maybe the owners of Buy Boxer, okay, because they do like 80 million a year. However, Kraft, if you call their 800 number, they may say, "Oh yeah, well, talk to Jim Bob's Wholesale in your town, and he's got a Kraft account and he sells to resellers." So let's see. When no one has run a product search on a particular site, will running a reverse search on that site give you results? You can. So running a reverse search is not on one particular site. Running a reverse search takes the ASIN and then runs it across all the sites that are in tactical arbitrage. And Will makes a great point, as always. If you're doing grocery, expiration dates are critical. FBA, you got to have 120 to 150 days out. FBM is 90 to 120 days. You want to make sure that people are getting those products in time and they're not expired. Can you post a link for the wheel of giveaway? Yeah, that's we've got some more people over on YouTube right now. So if you want to hop in and be able to get some of the giveaways this evening, there is a Google form to drop your name in. So go ahead and drop your name in there, and we will do the giveaways at the end. If you're on YouTube, please take a moment to smash the like button. It's really important for the YouTube algorithm. It helps this video get seen, and it keeps me coming back every week and making more videos. So I would really greatly appreciate it if you take the time to hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel while you're here. We just topped 4,600 subscribers, and I'm hoping to get to 5,000 before the middle of February. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about variations. Let me close down a couple of tabs to keep things a little faster. Tactical Edge is not what you're going to use to look at variations, okay? You're actually going to use the variations analyzer inside of tactical arbitrage, okay? Keep coming back. Yeah, variations. I get it. So product variations, it's like my Achilles heel. Like, I feel pretty comfortable explaining them, and I usually am pretty comfortable, like, oh, well, I know this one's probably selling the most, but then in like 75% of the cases, I'll end up not pulling the trigger on a variation because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. But let's talk about them a little bit. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna pull up Nike shoes, men. And we're probably going to get the dad Nike right at the top. Oh, no, we're not. Okay. Let's see here. Surprisingly enough, did not get the Nike Air that I was expecting. So let's pull this men's downshifter shoe, okay? I pulled this one here. And remember, if you plan on selling things like shoes, clothing, remember that your return rate is likely going to be a bit higher, okay? Come on. So in this particular case, I'm going to grab this ASIN right up here in the URL to make it nice and easy. And in the dashboard, we're going to go to product variations, and I'm going to paste that in to the ASIN area. And I'm just going to say that I found a source for this shoe at $5, okay? That's pretty much going to guarantee me profits here, okay? Now, When we pull up the product variations, what we're going to see is we're going to see the Amazon title and the ASIN that I put in here. We're going to see what the parent ASIN is, the rating, how many reviews there are, UPC, my buy price that I put in here, the sales rank, a bunch of this, all this information. And then we see an estimated monthly sales of 79 across all variations. I would imagine that's probably just a touch on the low side. Probably sells just a little bit more than that. But this is a fairly fast moving shoe. Okay. Now what you're going to see down here is you're going to see a bunch of different sizes and colors. But the review percentage is 0. So what we need to do is we need to hit this analysis button. And when we hit the analysis button, we can then choose how many pages we want Tactical Arbitrage to go in and fetch. I'm going to have it do all 14 because it should not take that long. All right. And we'll let this go and figure out all of the variation information there while I answer a couple of other questions. Does Tactical Edge grab all the ASINs from a storefront? It grabs as many as Amazon will allow. Yes. Sometimes, let's say someone has 500 ASINs. For some reason, Tactical Edge may only be able to get 490 of them. Just because Amazon is the way it is. Okay. But yeah, it should get 90% of them. All right, now we've run that analysis. We've hit the little green analysis button. And what we can see here is we get to see on each one of these variations the percentage of reviews. So this color black, white, anthracite, cool gray in size 10 has 5.9% of the total number of reviews. So this, in theory, is the absolute best-selling color and size on this particular product. So I would, if I get this for $5, I would feel 100% comfortable buying this color in this size 10. We can see that this one here, the size 13 in this royal blue white, has 4.4%. The scarlet and gray shoes here have another 4.4%, and these ones have 4.4%. So we've got a bunch here that seem to sell pretty well. Now, you can also go a little bit, you can see you get the Amazon buy box price because they're all different. We can see this blue shoe is currently at $88.95, whereas the black is at $66.43, and the scarlet and gray is at $55.81. Okay, so they're all going to be a little bit different price-wise. Now, the other thing I like to do is I like to come down here and I like to verify the numbers. So I can see that this black, white, anthracite, cool gray has 13 reviews. That's 19.1% of the reviews. So I know that this one is really popular. The scarlet and gray has 20.6% of the reviews. This Thunder Gray Metallic Pewter has 17. So I'd be really comfortable selling any of those three colors, and probably this deep Game Royal color as well. Okay. These ones all have a great number of reviews. And at this rank of shoe, a lot of these are going to be selling, but I would be super comfortable with those. Now, the other thing we can do is we go down and check the size. So size 10 has 9 reviews, or 13.2% of the total reviews. Size 13 is in 5.9%. We've got 10.5 with 8.8%, and then we've got size 8 with 10.3%. So what I know from here is I would be really comfortable buying this black, white, anthracite, cool gray in size 9 or 10. Okay, those would be two that I'd be super comfortable with. And we could come up here, we could see that the black, white, anthracite, cool gray in size 10 is the best-selling shoe on this particular listing. All right. And then I could also see this 10.5 here. So what I would do is I'd say, well, I'd probably buy that that scarlet and gray. I'd probably want to rather buy it in a 10 or even a 9. And it's probably going to be more likely to sell. Okay. So that's kind of what you have. I mean, that's essentially what you have to do. You just have to look at the variations, see what ones are selling, and then find those particular shoes or hope that the site has that particular shoe in stock. And that's how you figure it out. And that works across shoes and clothing and all that stuff. And that's all you can do. Okay. And I realize that shoes and clothing typically take a little bit longer to sell. I typically am looking for like 2 to 3 weeks for my inventory to turn over. And I'll let things sit for up to 90 days before I blow the price out. But with shoes, your turnover is a lot of times 60, 90 days. So you want to make sure to have a little bit more room for margin on here. And also because you're going to be tying up your capital for a little bit longer. So, all right. So we've gone over a lot. What did I miss for you guys? What questions do you have? Spencer, the answer is yes. That's about all I can get into with that here. So we've dug into a lot. I want to know what questions you guys have before we get into start giving away some stuff. Hey, Mac, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here. Happy anniversary. Hope you and the missus have a great evening, and hopefully you win. Why is it sometimes that Amazon favors FBM for the buy box rather than FBA? So there's a lot to the buy box, and it can be a lot of different things. Maybe they're really, really good at shipping merchant fulfilled. Okay. Maybe they're really, really fast. Maybe they're closer to you than any of the products that might be FBA. Maybe they're just rated really, really well. There's all kinds of reasons why a merchant fulfilled seller, maybe their price is just a heck of a lot lower. So it's kind of on a case by case basis why they may be getting the buy box. Now, if the buy box is suppressed, there's the only thing that counts is price. So the person at the top of the list will be a merchant fulfilled seller or an FBA seller, just depending on whoever has the lowest price. And that's the way a suppressed buy box works. So like if you had an example of a product where FBM is the buy box holder, we could go in and we could make some speculations as to why they might have the buy box over an FBA seller, but we don't know 100%. And Greg says, unless the customer is searching Prime only. That's correct. They're not going to be shown MF sellers if they're using the Prime only search function. And I'm told that a lot of people do that. I know that I do that personally. Like I was looking for a product last night, and I only want Prime sellers because I'm willing to pay a little extra for the convenience. How do merchant fulfilled sellers sell so much lower and still make money? That's a great question. Perhaps they are drop shipping and they're willing to take very, very thin margins. We don't know what their cost of goods sold are. Let's say that let's say this pair of shoes, for example. Okay, let's just say that I could buy this shoe for $20. All right, I could buy this Nike shoe new in a box for $20 at Kohl's or whatever. And I could make a profit on it, so I sell it. But let's say that another seller is going out and getting a pair of shoes that are new in the box, and I use air quotes, from Goodwill. Okay, and they're paying $5. Well, they can merchant fulfill that for a heck of a lot cheaper, but eventually it'll catch up to them. Okay, there was, and I see Dumpster Diver Dad showed up here. How's it going, man? I'm not going to speak ill of you, but there was an article that gave a lot of crap to people who dive in dumpsters and then are selling those products on Amazon. Should you sell those products on Amazon? No, there's not a chain of custody for those, but are they getting sold on Amazon? Yeah. And when your cost of goods sold is free, well, it doesn't cost anything. And now one caveat that I will say is I would be okay with you going to like a library and getting library books and selling them on Amazon as used, as long as you take a note of the condition guidelines. But I would really try to buy used books from the library before they made their way to the dumpster. Will, yes, Will made a great suggestion. If you guys have any future topics for Tactical Thursdays or questions you can think of that would make a good topic, you can always email me at chris@cleartheshelf.com, and we will make sure to cover those in the future. Let's see here. Sometimes if I do a search on tactical arbitrage, if it takes 2 days to finish, I find out that most of the data are outdated, although I have the update on settings. Well, okay. So if you mean the prices on Amazon, yeah, that can happen. Prices on Amazon change like a billion times a day, and that is billion with a B, and I'm not exaggerating. With as many products as there are, and as many sellers as there are, and as many repricers as there are, I know that if I have 120 or 150 items, different SKUs in stock, my prices can literally change 2,500 to 3,000 times a day for just 150 SKUs. Okay. Now go look at someone who's got 400 or 600 SKUs, and if they're using a repricer, they may reprice 12,000 times a day. So things can become can change very, very quickly. Now, if you think the price at the source site is changing that quickly, I'd have to look and see if there's a sale or something like that. But what I would suggest is I would not necessarily wait 2 days for a scan to finish. What I would do is I might give a scan 6 hours. Or if I had a day job, I might start a scan in the morning, and when I come home in the evening and we're Netflix and chilling, I would open up my laptop and start going through items. I take things from view data, move them over to a saved list, and start going through things a little bit fresher. So we could always, I can take a look at that. If you want to email me, I can go and look at your actual account and look and see. Maybe you have some examples. All right, let's do some giveaways. I think I've just about hit everything for everybody tonight. Let's go grab all these names. We got 114 tonight. I think that's the most we've ever had in here. Oh, other. I'm gonna grab all these names. First time I've ever had to open it up in oh, that's old. Let's do this. Download this. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. Hope we. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll skip over reverse search and we'll do wholesale next Thursday. If we did wholesale tonight, we'd just end up being here for 3 hours. So what we'll do is next week we'll go over wholesale. Open this back up. All right, let me grab all these names. First time I've ever had to actually download the names here. All right. Drop those here. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do OA Cheddar flips first. We've got 3 of those to give away. We've not covered library search yet. We will do library and flips as well. My plan for this year, sorry, I'm getting off. My plan for this year was to kind of start from the beginning and just go through everything. So we've gone over product search, gone over advanced and basic. We're going to need to do reverse and wholesale and library. Then we're going to get to tactical flips. And so we will definitely get there. I'm going to be here all year, probably. I mean, not all 52 weeks because I may take my kid on spring break and all that, but we're going to be covering a lot of stuff this year. So anyway, we've got 3 giveaways for flips, OA Cheddar flips to give away this evening. So let's do the first one. It's 30 days to OA Cheddar flips. Arlen, is that Arlen or Arlene? Shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com, and I will get you hooked up with that 30 days of OA Cheddar flips. Answer a quick question here. I have an item that did well for a few months. Amazon became a seller, and since then I've not sold a single unit. The FBA fees are currently more than Amazon's price. I have 200 of these in inventory. Ooh, what would you do? I would check eBay and see if you can sell any of them there, and multi-channel fulfill them from Amazon. Maybe, hopefully, it's not a ton of money that you have in this product. I also would want to look at the Keepa graph. Like, I don't know how long Amazon has been on it. If it looks like something that Amazon's going to be on for a long time, or if it's something that maybe they're going to be on for 30 days, it's kind of hard to tell. I also don't know how long you've been sitting on the 200. If it's been a while, I personally would probably cut the price. And even if I'm going to make a negative ROI, at least you're going to get a little bit of your capital back. It's going to be at a loss, but it's going to be some cash in your pocket that you could then go and use elsewhere. I'm not into I'm just not into holding on to inventory for that long. So let's say you have I know these probably are not the right numbers, but if you have $1,000 sunk into that 200 units of inventory, but maybe I could only get 500 back. Well, at least that's 500 bucks that I could go and try to turn back into 1,000 and make up for the loss. With Amazon, with selling on Amazon, we are making some as educated gambles as possible, and so sometimes the house wins, and we just have to win more than they win to come out ahead. And this one stings. I know, man. I'm sorry that happened, but I'd probably start liquidating and get a little bit of money back and go turn it into other products. If I sell them at Amazon's price, that's less than the FBA fees. I don't know. Jacob, maybe shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com and maybe let me think about it. Maybe we'll talk about that product and see where else it could go. All right, so Arlen or Arlene, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf. That's our first winner of OA Cheddar Flips. Our next winner for OA Cheddar Flips is going to be Lionel F. Lionel, shoot me an email. I'll get you hooked up with 30 days of OH Header Flips. And the third and final winner of OH Header Flips 30 days is going to be Kyle. I'm going to guess that's L, maybe I don't know. But Kyle, shoot me an email. I will get you taken care of as well. Now, the next thing that we've got to give away is a 100 polybag sampler from ilovesupplies.com. These guys make probably what is arguably the best polybags in the business. And we've got 3 sets of these to give away. The first winner is Mary Ann S. Mary Ann, you can shoot me an email. I need to get your address and, of course, your name, Mary Ann. But shoot me an email with your address, and I will get that over to Jonathan so he can send those out. Again, if you guys aren't sure my email address, it is chris@cleartheshelf.com. The second winner this week is... looks like it's going to be Adrian N. Adrian, shoot me an email, and I will get you taken care of as well for 100 poly bags from I Love Supplies. And the final winner this week for poly bags is Harry P. Harry P, if you will shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com. Need to get your email address, your address, your shipping address, and all that, and we will get you guys taken care of. Make sure to check out ilovesupplies.com when you need your next polybag order. The next thing we're going to give out is I've got 2 Tactical Arbitrage t-shirts in your size and color of your choice. And the first winner is going to be Keith S. Keith, shoot me an email with your address and your size and the color of shirt that you would like. These shirts are up on Amazon, Tactical Arbitrage t-shirt, and I will buy and have Amazon ship one to you. Hassan asks, I find out that Marvel has a lot of IP complaints. Is that normal? So the thing about Marvel is, now I sold tons of Marvel with no problem. However, I have gotten several, more than a handful, of confirmed IP complaints on Marvel. So it is in IP alert, okay? Because I've got proof. Screenshots and things of IP complaints from inside Seller Central accounts where people have gotten them. Now, knock on wood, I sell lots of Marvel, especially during Q4, and I've never had an issue. So the thing about IP alert is we verify every single brand that gets put in there, but there are some brands that are hit or miss, and a lot of times I'll go in there and I may sell one really fast when I know that there's a company that issues IP complaints. Chris, I just had someone buy 3 of the same item, seller fulfilled, then they asked to cancel 2. Can I do a partial refund? Man, I'm not sure the best way of doing that to make sure that you don't get dinged. They should be able to cancel a portion of it inside of their buyer's account. Pretty sure they could cancel just 2 out of the 3 of them, and that would really be the way to do it, so that they will get refunded, and then you won't have to take a ding on your account. I'm gonna have to double check that one to make sure that that's the right way to do it. Keith S. was our first winner. If Big Willie wins a shirt and he asks for a small, do you raise an eyebrow or do you just send him that shirt? I'd raise an eyebrow if Big Willie asks for a small. I know better. Let's see. The next winner for a Tactical Arbitrage t-shirt is Cassandra G. Cassandra G, shoot me an email with your size and your address, and I will shoot you out a Tactical Arbitrage t-shirt as well. We're going to give away 2 copies of IP Alert. The first winner of IP Alert is going to be Randy T. Randy T, shoot me an email. I'll get you taken care of with IP Alert. And the second winner of IP Alert is going to be Jalmer M. Make sure to shoot me an email. I will get you taken care of as well. Piano lady, that must be Cassandra. Congratulations. And the final winner, the big prize this week, is, of course, a lifetime membership to Tactical Arbitrage Academy, as well as the private Facebook group. And the winner this week of Tactical Arbitrage Academy is... I know I'm going to get this wrong. Same or Same A. Shoot me an email. I'll get you taken care of with Tactical Arbitrage Academy as well. So that's it for this week, guys. Make sure to take some time. Go check out all of the people who sponsor the show. ilovesupplies.com, OA Cheddar Flips. We've got networkprep@gmail.com, Charles Leslie. And then, of course, please make sure to murder that like button for me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I will see you guys next Thursday. If you have any questions, concerns, ideas about what we should do for the show, make sure to hit me up at chris@cleartheshelf.com, and have a great week. Good selling, guys.